Hey gang, I recently watched the thought-provoking Disney film, Soul. Today, we're going to talk about several beautiful lessons learned in this completely awe-inspiring masterpiece. Who should watch it? If you're worried life's not living up to your expectations, watch this movie and give yourself a new perspective on living, and be all the more grateful for having the chance. Please stop the video if you haven't seen the film first and go watch it first. And if you have seen it, then quiet coyote. And let's begin. Brief background. The main character, Joe, sees himself as a full-time musician and a part-time teacher. But when offered a chance to work full-time at his teaching job, he's certainly not happy about it. He doesn't want to be stuck in a life he's disappointed in, his current life. To him, this isn't the life he wants to live. One fateful day, he's offered a chance to perform with a high-ranking musician, Dorothy Williams. This is his chance to play music full-time, and all his dreams will come true. From his perspective, once his dreams come true, then he can finally start living. And on the day he thinks his life's begun, he dies. I wonder how many people that's happened to. Thinking, as soon as I get this, then I can start living. I wonder even more how many people have fought like that and went for their whole life not achieving that one thing. Then we have 22, an old soul that's never been alive that Joe meets when he dies. Joe is now tasked with showing them why life's worth living. Similar to Joe's struggle, 22 thinks she's going to get a life she's disappointed in, the same way Joe was disappointed with his own life. So she refuses to live. The story follows the journey of Joe and 22 as they both discover what they want from life and what is really important to them. Lesson 1. Your life is happening right now. Not dying, not today, not when my life just started. Joe Gardner. Joe sees his life starting the moment he's close to getting the thing he's been wanting his whole life. He doesn't think he's been living the entire time before it. This is an imaginary issue many people face. A story they tell themselves, thinking that life starts when this thing happens, or when I have this, then I can do this, or when I have this, then I can start doing the things I want to do. When 22 eventually takes control of Joe's body, we see a complete change in worldview. She's new, and the world is fascinating. We see there's so many small things to enjoy about the world now, within any given day, rather than assuming that enjoyment will only come when you reach a particular point in your life. We see a kid's view on life. She's looking through at the world through a lens of innocence. Lesson 2. Your life isn't one moment, it's a series of moments. We should be grateful for all of it. Near the end of the film, after achieving his dream, Joe opens up to one of his idols, Dorothy Williams. He says, "I've been waiting on this day my entire life. I thought it'd feel different." To which she responds with a story that is probably the most memorable part of the film. "I heard this story about a fish. He swims up to this older fish and says, 'I'm trying to find this thing they call the ocean.' 'The ocean?' says the older fish. 'That's what you're in right now.' 'This?' says the young fish. 'This is water. What I want is the ocean.' Joe didn't realize that he already had what he was looking for. He just wasn't looking in the right place. The meaningful life he's been seeking was the life he already had, but simply didn't see it that way. He wasn't grateful for the moments he did have. Near the beginning, Joe looks back on his life and memories with 22 and sees everything he's done. His life is comprised mainly of small day-to-day moments and normal activities that many of us do daily. But because not every moment in his life looked momentous, he has a very negative opinion about it. He says, "My life was meaningless." He doesn't think he's really lived. 22 also views Joe's life as sad and pathetic, but that's because at this point, like Joe, she doesn't really understand the beauty of life. When 22 has a taste of life, she sees so many beautiful aspects of it. She focuses on things that others ignore, the musician, the subway, the seeds that fall like helicopters off a tree. She is really in the best moment we can possibly be in, the now. Joe, on the other hand, didn't appreciate these things apart from music. It's like he had tunnel vision. He's failed to notice anything good or bright in his life other than when it involved his dream. To him, life is monotonous. Getting the subway each day, doing the same thing each day. But here, with 22, we have a fresh new perspective. One with focus, not simply going through the motions, but being intentional, enjoying what's in that moment and really living. Lesson 3. You're not defined by a singular activity. Have sparks. In order for a soul to have a body, in order for them to really start to live, they first need to find their spark. Throughout the film, Joe thought that a spark was a soul's purpose. We later find out that's not the case. A spark isn't a soul's purpose, meaning of life, or passion. A spark is something that just encourages you to live. It's inspiration. You can have many different sparks. Your life isn't defined by a single thing that you do. You can find joy in several things, a series of actions and activities that let you enjoy life all the more. This was the case for 22. She found many things she enjoyed, many reasons to live. She had many sparks. Playing the piano isn't the reason for living, it's the feeling you get playing the piano. Painting a painting isn't the reason for living, it's the feeling you get painting the painting. I think this is the most important lesson of them all. So many of us come into this world and are told we need to have that one thing. Maybe a degree or a career that defines us, or one particular thing that'll make us feel good about ourselves, a purpose. But the reality is, that's not often the case. We can feel good about ourselves and about our lives by doing several things, many things. Where does it say in the rule book of life that we need to have one thing? The idea of having a singular purpose is abstract, and it's just an idea that a bunch of people made up. Yes, there are some of us who have a spark that is so dominant in our lives that it'll seem like we have nothing else, and it'll outweigh other interests. Some people's sparks will be disproportionate. Whatever the case, there is no rule book. Find your sparks and enjoy them. Outro. That's it. These were some of the key lessons I took away from Soul. So, how are you going to live your life? I don't know, but I'm going to live every minute of it. See you next time.